What's up, people? Welcome back to another episode of After Credits. We just got out of the aforementioned Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, the sequel to possibly one of the best Marvel movies ever made.
I'll give it that.
Directed and written once again by James Gunn, stars the same people: Chris Pratt as Star-Lord, Zoe Saldana as Gamora, Dave Bautista as Drax the Destroyer, Karen Gillan as Nebula. We've got Bradley Cooper voicing Rocket Raccoon, and Vin Diesel voicing Baby Groot.
What was that, Vin Diesel?
Vin Diesel.
Did he voice?
Yeah, he did.
Oh, okay.
And Michael Rooker is back as Yondu. After a couple of adventures, Star-Lord's dad finds him. Star-Lord's dad, played by Kurt Russell, and Star-Lord starts discovering some shit about his past, and mischief ensues.
Ooh.
What'd y'all think about this?
It was fantastic. It was beautiful. It was written well. It was a great time. I had a fuck ton of fun in this.
I thought it was hilarious. A very violent movie, of course. You know, I kind of agree with Jarrett. I think it was well put. It was done.
Fuck you.
We're gonna make some enemies tonight!
Fuck you, you son of a
Spoiler alert! We're gonna go all the way into this. If y'all don't want to know anything specific about this movie because you're already in the theater watching this, scroll to the time code right here. If not, let's get ready to rumble!
I'm gonna fucking murder you.
This is the worst Marvel movie ever made!
Wait, hold on. Even worse than Daredevil.
Fuck. Okay, one second.
Marvel movie.
1 second. Fuck you.
You like the old Daredevil movie?
No. Fuck you, because that is the different universe. Fuck you, because you're forgetting about Thor: Dark World. You're forgetting about Iron Man 3.
Who says I'm forgetting?
I don't want to do reviews with you anymore.
Then don't.
I fucking god damn it.
Barnyard, I hate to break your heart even more, but I agree with
I
Daniel.
don't care, because every time we have a similar opinion, you go opposite. I don't care about your opinion.
Fuck you.
I care about your opinion because you love Guardians of the Galaxy. How can you hate this?
You can't just love something because
Let
of
us
the
pray.
name. If it was bad,
Brittany,
it's bad.
you want to fucking bet? Stop with your liberal arts degree, god damn it.
All right, I'm just gonna sit in the back and be quiet like I always do.
I love you, Brittany.
No,
I love
it's
you.
okay.
Brittany.
You're still an asshole, but
Dude, I'm your asshole. I'm all your assholes.
I
He's temperamental like mine, so yeah,
never
that's
said
why.
I claimed you, but you kind of just showed up.
If we all had the option to get rid of our assholes, I'm sure.
Wait,
I'm
where are you
sure.
going with this?
You never asked for an asshole, but you got it anyway. And I'm that asshole. I'm that asshole. I'm sticking with you to the end.
I watched the first Guardians today, and I rearranged my rankings. I made Guardians my favorite Marvel movie after watching it today. First Guardians has honest-to-God emotion.
Yeah, it does. I'll give you that.
The characters are so well realized and so well written. It's never been about what the Guardians do, more about who the Guardians are. And those scenes are so well realized and relatable and strong that it makes those people come to life. And the world building is so strong that even in a world that kind of looks realistic, like in the Civil War or in Iron Man or whatnot, this one feels more like it was alive, the first Guardians. And this one was the exact opposite. It was the Guardians kind of just going off, doing things, and explaining what they felt instead of showing what they felt. It's exactly what I was scared that this would eventually become, just another generic superhero flick. It looks really good because it's still James Gunn behind the camera for it. I'll give the technicals that. But as far as like the heart, sort of the beating emotion of the Guardians, the strength of their character and camaraderie, it fails in all of that. And the reason I say worse over Iron Man 3 or something like that is kind of the same reason I went so bad with Going in Style. When you take something great and make it crap, that to me hurts more than when you took Iron Man, who after Iron Man 2 and the Avengers was kind of just okay, and then lead into that.
Yes, the first one had genuine emotion in it, and you felt relatable to the characters because, you know, outcasts and shit and getting together and, you know, doing something great. This one, it's not as good as the first one, I admit. It's always hard to live up to a sequel to live up to the first one. Look at Avengers 2. Look at Iron Man 2. Captain America Winter Soldier is great.
Let's stick with Captain America Winter Soldier, because what Captain America Winter Soldier focused on was character. It took Cap from this guy who wants to defend his country, not out of a sense of raw patriotism, but out of this kind of expansion. Like, he's the kind of guy that would stick up for you, the innocent.
Yeah.
And so he took that mentality and spread it worldwide, and that's what he goes for.
Yeah.
And in Winter Soldier, he's dealing with this sort of brand that's been put on him, this Captain America brand, and he's trying to come to grips with what happens when your country does something wrong. It's focused on Cap's evolution as a character.
I understand.
Whereas this one just has a lot of stuff happening to people. And what I'm explaining with the Cap comparison is that it's not sequelitis, it's a lack of character. I think that's what makes Winter Soldier great. Yeah. And that's what makes Civil War good too.
Yeah.
I did not find the comedy in this working at all.
I mean, I didn't burst out laughing like some of these people, but I laughed at some points. Some points I thought were funny, and I was like, hey. But, I agree with you. It felt like no one got care. Besides Star-Lord and maybe Raccoon, nobody got really developed as a character. Drax didn't. I mean, he had that one emotional scene with Mantis, and that was like, oh, that was about it. Rocket, he bonded with Yondu. Star-Lord, he found his father, and he was learning about himself, learning about where he came from. By the way, his dad's a planet and a celestial.
Ego, the living planet.
Yeah.
I'm actually not opposed to the ideas brought up in this. You know, Yondu finally revealing himself to be a father figure to Star-Lord. Star-Lord like finding his parentage. Drax finding someone who's similar to he is. Gamora and Nebula dealing with their sisterdom. But I felt like the execution was completely off. Like, take for example the fight scene between Gamora and Nebula whenever she is trying to prove to Gamora once and for all that she is good enough.
I hated that.
You know what would have really worked is if we would have gotten a flashback to Gamora and Nebula as kids, and then we see Thanos, because Nebula says that whenever she lost, Thanos would take a part of her and replace it with machinery. Mm-hmm. We haven't seen Thanos do anything of consequence in this entire series.
Shit, we didn't even see him at all.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have been awesome to finally see firsthand, you know, the mad Titan just grab Nebula, rip out her eye, and put something in. Like, do something.
That would be kind of graphic for a PG-13.
Well,
Disney
I mean,
film.
we've seen some pretty graphic stuff recently. Even in the first Guardians, it starts out with Ronan taking a sledgehammer to a prisoner's head. They just cut away from it. You can film it, make it menacing, but still keep that rawness to it.
Kind of like have it a distant, like it's blurring out. And she's like squirming on a table or some bullshit.
You could even show Gamora's reaction to it. Gamora being horrified at this, but after a while to kind of save face. You know, there's ways that you can make this idea work, but just talking about it, I really didn't think sold it. What's really weird to me is that after watching Guardians today, you know how everybody kind of dismisses that as like, oh, that's just the Avengers again. Or that's just kind of like the quirky comedy fun movie. That movie is really dark.
Yeah.
That movie is depressing. I think my favorite scene is whenever Rocket breaks down in the bar after fighting Drax, sobbing that while drunk.
I'm nothing. I'm just
Yeah, it's like, I'm nothing.
Science project.
Exactly. Everybody looks down on me. They call me vermin. They call me trash. And whenever you see Rocket deal with that here, it's nowhere near that gut punch of emotion. But if we're going to talk about what's good in this, Rocket's the best character, I think.
Yeah, he was great.
Rocket, Michael Rooker, out of his performance, makes Yondu great. Because I don't think the character is great in this, but Michael Rooker is fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
Even to the point that, you know, when he dies...
Spoiler alert, he dies.
He dies
sacrificing himself for Peter.
Yep.
Whenever it was shown the Ravengers, you saw her twice. The chick with the black hair and the black makeup. Is that the same chick from the Thor Ragnarok trailer?
No.
It looks almost identical.
No, James Gunn has basically made it said the Guardians, even though they're going to cross over in Infinity War, that this movie is kind of on its own. And that's even shown in the after credit scenes. There are 5 here, none of them connecting with Infinity War or the rest of the Marvel Universe in any way.
That's why I was surprised that they didn't add Thanos.
They did do another one with Adam Warlock, though.
Yeah, but that's going to be for Guardians 3. Bad guys, Elizabeth Debicki, who is great in Man from U.N.C.L.E., and the character here is just so lame because it's kind of unnecessary. She's part of this perfect race and makes this giant birthing pod.
It's like Krypton, you know, everyone is genetically engineered for what they're supposed to do, and I'm like, oh, it's like Krypton, except they're all gold.
Makes this birthing pod, and apparently it's gonna be Adam Warlock in the next Guardians, which
that's the second Adam Warlock thing that they've shown in the Guardians of the Galaxy, which I'm excited for.
That's gonna be fun.
Yeah, it is.
I really want Howard the Duck to be more of a mainstay in these movies.
Who knows? We
see him again.
He might be the one and only to stop Thanos, the Mad Titan.
You know what? Fuck it. That would work out.
Well, what do you think about Stan Lee talking to the Watchers? It's because of that whole rumor that Stan Lee is the Watcher of the
that basically
universe.
He's telling them all the stories of the universe that he can see. Yeah, I kind of got that. Honestly, I don't care anymore. I really don't remember the last great Stan Lee cameo.
Deadpool. When he was a strip club announcer. That was pretty great.
I like the one in Spider-Man 3.
What did he do in Spider-Man 3? I forgot.
In Spider-Man 3, he meets Peter Parker kind of looking up at the sign commemorating Spider-Man Day, and he said, like, something about people need hope, and he's done good for the city. But, you know, that's my opinion. Enough said, and he walks off. I also like the Amazing Spider-Man one, where he's just like the librarian listening to his music while they're fighting in the background. That's that's just me.
I didn't like the fact that it was slow paced. Like, it kept going back to the Ego planet. When it got to Ego, I feel like it didn't focus enough on the conflict between the Guardians, and it focused more on a stupid planet guy.
Peter's father. Just the stupid thing that gave him life. Him talking about celestial penis.
Well, my thing is it gave him too much time. Like they didn't split enough time between each conflict. It was more conflict for Ego and more conflict for the Golden people.
If everybody had an interesting thing to do in this movie, it wouldn't have felt as slow. But whenever it stops being about Star-Lord and Ego, or Rocket trying to escape with Yondu, you have to deal with Drax and Mantis, their kind of cringy banter, and then Gamora is the only one who thinks that there's something suspicious going on, and that kind of circles the moon once or twice and keeps going, and that kind of brings it down.
It's repetitive.
Yeah.
Welcome to the spoiler-free part of the review. We just talked about this movie in detail for a good amount of time. We learned some friendships have been broken. Right now, we're just going to give our final thoughts and scores out of 6 stars.
Honestly, did not like this movie at all. I mean, you're right, it was a fun time, so I'm not going to be that big of a negative Nancy. It was still fun. Up until, like, the last 45 minutes of the movie, where I was just looking at my watch, wondering when the hell it was going to be over.
That's sad.
Is that why y'all
I feel
Is that
sad.
why
for
y'all
No, I
like
really
that?
had to pee.
I had to
Oh.
pee too, and I didn't want to do it in the credits because I was gonna miss a
waiting
scene.
for a cringy scene, which is exactly what that Family Feud going on gave me. Thank God for that, I guess.
God, imagine if it went like totally perfect for the rest of the movie, and I'll be
Right,
like,
oh my
God damn it.
My bladder would have. I would have pissed on the lady next to me
Oh, it was
who
lacking.
decided to narrate the movie as we're watching it.
No.
Did you hear? Did you hear the
I
lady
didn't
next
hear
to us?
No, dude. I was like 3 people away from you.
There's a lady 2 people down. Whenever Rocket would do something on screen, she's like, "Oh my God!" And it's like, that was so funny. Rocket did the thing on screen, and then she's like, "Oh look, that's his father." I was like, "Yeah, I know.
You just said that.
I'm not blind, ma'am. Thank you. Are you someone seeing eye person? Is that it? Because I can see what the fuck is going on screen."
Was it worse than the guy that was sitting behind us stabbing his food?
Oh, was that the guy that dropped his cup on the floor at the end?
Probably.
He's
Good
like,
Lord.
he's like, tink, 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 tink. I'm like, oh my
And
God.
that's why I was going like that on my gut. I was like,
Guy in front of us using his phone to pay his bill. He took like 10 minutes to do that. All you gotta do is write your name and the total of the tip, dude.
he was trying to figure out what.
Come on, people. This is one of the biggest movies of the year. And you can't, for 2 hours, just be civil?
No.
What the
People-
fuck?
Not, man.
People are selfish and think for themselves.
This is why Netflix is gonna rule the world. What's your score, Britt?
I mean, it was a fun movie, but... Come back to me. I don't know. Come back to me for the rating. I don't know.
What's up, Matt? What you think of this?
I'll give it 4.5.
4.5.
I thought it was funny, you know. Acting was, you know, okay.
Like I said in the spoiler part of the review, I came into this movie pretty much just not coming in with the name value of the movie. Just coming in to watch a film, judge it how it was. I had a fun time with it. Maybe it was because I was drinking. Maybe not. But I had a really fun time with this film. It was spectacular. It was very vibrant with colors and explosions and lots of characters. I don't think it's better than the first one, but I do think it's good. I'll give it a 5. Please, no.
Yeah, this is bad.
Ooh.
This is...
Say what's in your heart.
Use your heart.
What are you, the devil on my shoulder?
Yeah.
Oh, literally? This takes the Guardians of the Galaxy that we love, the vibrancy, the energy, the emotion, and drains a lot of it, puts it all into the colors in the background, but it's a pretty movie, not a good movie, and I think there's a difference to that. There's also some sequelitis bits, like they focus so much on the soundtrack that you see the actual Walkman 5 or 6 times in the movie. It's kind of like when they did it in Kong Skull Island.
Sony.
But this is a Marvel movie by Disney.
I know.
Did Sony infect this too? Jesus Christ. And they fucking want to keep Spider-Man out of the MCU after 2019. This dropped me to a 2, man. This is bad.
Oh, I was gonna feel bad.
Guardians was like that one shot where it's like, oh my God, James Gunn is that dude. We're gonna be okay. That guy's doing it. Oh man, I'm really let down. I'm not gonna lie.
You're too focused
From
on
my
self.
favorite Marvel movie to the worst one.
I really can't get over the lack of character and emotion in this movie. It was so flat. And I agree with Daniel. It was pretty, but it wasn't good. 2.5.
With Sam and Aaron both giving it a 6. Our total verdict is 4 1/3. If you like our stuff, please like the video down below. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel. We're currently at 132. Apparently AT&T at Stonebar unsubscribed to us.
Did they?
Yeah.
Ah, damn it.
We'd love to have more people. Comment below. Tell us if you fucking hate Daniel. If you fucking agree with Daniel. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Links all down below. Liam has a blog. Liam F. Gahan or some bullshit. Our friend Noah's the Cinema Geek on Instagram.
he's gonna put up his Guardians review very shortly.
I'm sure it'll be up before this video.
As far as what we've got coming up,
I still want to see Phoenix Forgotten.
he wants to see Phoenix Forgotten. I've seen it. I think it's okay. We can probably get into detail if we ever actually watch it.
Okay.
We're gonna try to do our first episode of Viewer's Choice on the Boondock Saints due to recommendation from this gentleman over here. And then we're just gonna keep going down the list. We've got some terrible movies in this list that we've got to review. Next week is King Arthur and Snatched. To be honest with you, I don't really care about any of these movies. So there's some independent stuff we still need to check out. There's Lost City of Z. If anyone's available to show up with me on Monday, I've got tickets to go see Chuck, the story behind the guy that inspired Rocky Balboa. There's a movie called The Dinner that has Rebecca Hall in it, and I love Rebecca Hall, and it's supposed to be kind of like this thriller thing, so maybe that's good.
What is it, 2 weeks from now we got Alien?
Yes. Don't worry about next week. Worry about when Alien comes out the 18th.
I hope that's...
We should do...
Oh man, that's gonna be fucking
good.
great.
I think that's gonna be like a 5.
I think we should...
Oh man, I'm so hoping. Especially, did you hear Ridley Scott said that Neil Blomkamp's Alien, the one made by the guy who directed District 9,
okay,
he was supposed to make his own Alien movie, and Fox canned it.
Why?
I don't know. Either Alien Covenant is that good, or some shit went down. Here's hoping. Ridley, don't let us down, man.
We should make our pre-ratings. You can see what we...
Pre-ratings?
Yeah, I'm gonna say it's gonna be a 5.
I'm gonna go with... Prometheus wasn't a great movie, but it was fun as shit,
Yeah,
so I'm gonna go 4.5.
What would you...
I'm stuck between those two scores.
What would you give a pre-rating to Alien Covenant?
Oh man, I love the Alien series.
That's why
I'm
I
not
gave
giving
it a
it
5.
any less than a 5, most likely.
Okay, so we'll come back to this video.
Will we predict correctly? Find out in 2 weeks.
Yep.
But until then, thank you very much for watching. Y'all take care. Have fun. Go watch some movies, and good night.